The pushback that Donald Trump is getting from the Canadian media, he's really not getting from the Liberal government, which doesn't know what to do. And I'll show you some clips of Trudeau in a minute, looking like a robot in one of them, like he's literally spewing a tape-recorded message out of his mouth. It's quite fascinating. You know, when he begins to stutter and he gulps a lot of air, he does this in question period quite frequently. That's when he's really at odds with the truth, meaning he's lying, or he doesn't know how to respond because he hasn't got a script in front of him.
What's being discussed potentially is going to turn trade governance upside down. So maybe a little bit of your perspective.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, when Donald Trump first got elected in 2016, he made a commitment to rip up one of the most successful trade deals that the world has ever seen, NAFTA, or specifically Canada-US free trade deal particularly. And that was something he was absolutely determined to do, and it would have had deep consequences, obviously on Canada, but also on the North American economy. We rolled up our sleeves.
I have to laugh now. Have you noticed nobody even wants to talk about Mexico being part of this is the killer, because of course it's like Mexico is the invisible partner now in this, because everybody's mad at how Mexico has been totally violating the current free trade agreement, USMCA. And of course, Trudeau is pretending that says NAFTA was great, but yet it needed to be replaced with something he's taking credit for.
Sleeves and did the hard work of demonstrating that it was not just possible, but desirable to create a win-win, to update NAFTA, to update USMCA in all sorts of different ways. And the level of connectedness between the Canadian and the American economy, to be specific about that, meant that it would have been very difficult for the American administration to do something that would hurt the Canadian economy and hurt workers, that wouldn't also significantly hurt the American economy and American workers. So based on those truths, we looked at ways to update and adjust our trading relationship, and we did that because the fact is middle-class workers in Canada and the United States have been building things together for decades and generations to tremendous success. And basing the arguments around this is how you create jobs in both of our economies.
Okay, he's going on here, basically saying absolutely nothing. But I show you this because he's relatively animated here. And in the next clip, you'll see, does this demonstrate a problem in his life, an addiction problem? I suspect it indicates something very suspicious.
This is how you create opportunity and prosperity there. It was hard work. I mean, yeah, it wasn't easy, and nothing's going to be easy this time. Little secret, there is no American administration that is automatically easy for a Canadian government. They take a very robust look at their own interests, and Canada adjusts. But our ability to do that and protect good jobs in Canada is what's going to be at the center of it.
Very strange here. And he's obviously not, he doesn't know what to say because they haven't articulated the talking points yet. How does the Trudeau government react to Donald Trump, except saying, congratulations, we'll work with you? It's like Justin Trudeau can't admit he's a lame duck prime minister. And Melanie Joly's a lame duck foreign affairs minister, not to mention an incompetent one. Chrystia Freeland's a lame duck deputy prime minister and finance minister. All of these people in the front bench in the Liberals are lame ducks. This is a government that's on its way out. And like John Manley said last week, we need a snap election to get a legitimate government in power in Canada. But watch Trudeau in this. Same day. Watch how he is behaving like a robot, like an automaton.
People know that Canada managed to steer through the first Trump presidency with significant success in creating jobs and opportunity for Canadians and American workers. And they wanted to know what kinds of things they need to be focused on. And I pointed out that, emphasizing the win-wins, understanding that there are going to be challenging moments ahead, that Donald Trump will very much be focused on what's good for the United States. But because trade can and should fundamentally be win-win, that there are ways to work in serious but frank and open engagements that deliver opportunities for people. So a lot of people talking about it, but a sense of, okay, let's do this. Let's make sure we're standing up for our citizens and creating growth for everyone, because that's a conversation we have anyway. I think there probably are elements of accelerating certain things in the coming months for some, but for the
He's obviously completely out of touch here. This is what I find fascinating about this clip, is he's unable to really articulate any kind of vision for Canada. He's reluctant to criticize Donald Trump like he wants to, because he knows he can't. He knows he has no foundation to do that.
most part, people are being thoughtful about how to position themselves over the coming years in a way that's going to be constructive, beneficial for them, and create opportunities for all their trading partners, including with the United States. It's an approach that is perhaps a little less surprised or anxious than it was 8 years ago when Donald Trump was first elected. I think people know a little more about what to expect and are leaning on examples of countries like Canada that managed to navigate successfully through win-win renegotiations of our most important trade deal.
So he's struggling to say something. He doesn't know what to say because he knows his days are numbered as leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada. He doesn't know what to say. So the only talking point I can discern from the Trudeau government in the last week about the Trump presidency is Canada has gone through Trump before. People are coming to us for advice about what to do and what to expect. Canada is somehow relevant to the Trump presidency. We're advisors to the world. Now, I don't know who dreamed this one up, but of course it's utter rubbish. Nobody takes Canada vis-a-vis the United States very seriously, and they know Donald Trump despises Justin Trudeau, and they know Justin Trudeau despises Donald Trump. And they know that there is a tremendous hostility in this relationship. And the Trudeau is just treading water right now every time he opens his mouth.
As examples of the kinds of constructive work that we can do to grow the economy and benefit citizens. Well, I think there is a sense, and I don't want to get too much into analysis or opinion here, but there is a sense that that this is something, this is an administration that has an approach that is less unknown than it was back in 2016. There are potentially some very challenging consequences of some of the decisions that may be made, but I think a lot of countries are focused on building up resilience and capacity to respond to those challenges, as opposed to wondering whether or not those challenges are going to materialize. I think people know those challenges are going to materialize. Donald Trump is someone who tends to do what he says he's going to do. And that means people are going to be able to think about how to position themselves best, given some of those things that are coming. And that wasn't necessarily the sense back in 2016.
Tortured is all I can say. He just doesn't know what to say. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, folks. Don't listen to Justin Trudeau. We need this kind of attitude in Canada right now, because let me tell you, Justin Trudeau will fight tooth and nail to stay as leader of the Liberal Party and as Prime Minister of Canada, and he will use every trick in the Liberal handbook to do that. So we have to be vigilant, and we have to have perseverance to fight this battle to the end. As I've been saying since this station went on the air, we need to resolve to resist. And we need to fight for our free speech and our democratic rights to say what we believe, to speak, as John Diefenbaker said. And don't forget that t-shirt that's available out there in the store. I speak as a free Canadian, free to speak, free to believe in what I choose. And Justin Trudeau is not going to interfere with that. Thanks for being a part of the Krayden's Right resistance, and we'll see you again soon. So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need a political change, but we also need to resolve to resist.